What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about another Studio Ghibli film and a Miyazaki film in particular. I've been really enjoying recently because HBO Max has accessibility to a lot of Studio Ghibli films and most of Miyazaki's catalog. I recently watched Howl's Moving Castle for the first time, and you saw my review of My Neighbor Totoro. I've always wanted to get into Miyazaki's work, but for some reason, for a really long time, I never took the time to really sit down and watch his material, and I am just falling more and more in love with his movies. And for the review today, this was actually the first Miyazaki film I ever watched. When I worked at the movie theater years and years ago, this film came out. Didn't even know about Miyazaki or anything about Studio Ghibli. Went in and watched this film, and I really enjoyed it. But to be honest, I didn't remember a whole lot about it because it had been a really long time since I watched it. And since I'm revisiting these, I'm planning on revisiting Spirited Away because it's been a while since I've seen that as well. I was really looking forward to talking about this one today after revisiting it. And the film I'm going to be discussing is Ponyo. Ponyo is directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The son of a sailor, 5-year-old Sasuke lives a quiet life on an oceanside cliff with his mother Lisa. One fateful day, he finds a beautiful goldfish trapped in a bottle on the beach, and upon rescuing her, names her Ponyo. But she is no ordinary goldfish. The daughter of a masterful wizard and a sea goddess, Ponyo uses her father's magic to transform herself into a young girl and quickly falls in love with Sasuke. So as I said, I'd already seen this film before. I watched it in the theater when it was first released and really enjoyed it, and I loved it again this time around. This is a very simplistic film, very similarly to the things I said about My Neighbor Totoro. The stakes in this one, there's a little bit more suspense because there's this storm that's hitting the community that they live in. But aside from that, most of it is really just about character interactions. And what I really love about Miyazaki's work, and I'll talk about it through some of the plot points, is that all of his films bleed compassion and empathy towards other people. And it's something that I really respect because I feel like even in Disney films, it's gotten to a point where most of Disney's, even Pixar films, have become very formulaic in their storytelling methods. And you get the same type of plot beats, you get the same introduction of a villain. Sometimes the villain will have a twist or something. But in Miyazaki's films, even the bad characters are always so layered. They're not just simply bad for the sake of being bad. There's always something more to them, and they're always so much deeper written, which is something I really appreciated. And as the plot description says, we're introduced to Sasuke. He lives with his mother. His mother works at a nursing home facility with these elderly people that all know Sasuke. He's very close with all of these elderly people. You can tell the community is really tight-knit. And Sasuke's father is always out at sea. They don't 100% explicitly tell you what his job is, but he's always on a boat, he's always out working. You can see some tension between the mother and father because of that. And one day, Sasuke's out and he sees Ponyo wash up on shore. Ponyo looks like a goldfish, and he takes Ponyo with him to school, goes all these places, and Ponyo's father, who lives underwater, is this magical being who has this boat that he drives through the water. It's the most insane thing ever, even trying to describe it. Comes and tries to find Ponyo, manages to bring Ponyo back under the sea, but Ponyo gets the ability to escapes onto shore, and turns into a human girl. And then the rest of the movie is Ponyo and Sasuke having adventures together. After this huge storm happens, Sasuke's mother gets trapped at the nursing home, and it's just all of these little series of events with these two characters interacting with each other. And there's this really wholesome idea of youth that is conveyed in the movie that's very similar to what I said about My Neighbor Totoro, which is it's not like anything is super high stakes other than Sasuke's mom, who is like the most insane driver I've ever seen, is like the most risky, insane driver when she's driving through this horrible storm that looks like a hurricane, and she's just completely unfazed by everything that's going on. And it's really just the interactions between these people, and you can see this level of wholesomeness and beauty in the relationships between these people. And I've talked a lot about, reading about Miyazaki and what a lot of his films are about, and he's reflective on World War II and what his country had to go through and what the people who lived in his country had to go through. And I think that every single one of these films, in one way or another, is an idyllic portrait of what Miyazaki wishes the world could be. And even though there is problem and turmoil, there's always some sort of love and compassion and empathy underneath. And Ponyo's character in this film, right from the get-go, when Sasuke sees her and talks to her, he expresses his undying love for her because he sees her as a goldfish. He's a young child who, you know, children have such compassion and empathy and love in their hearts, and they're so willing to care for animals and care for the things around them. And after that, she forms this attachment to where the two of them become super close friends, and it is this form of love that, you know, when it comes to children and compassion and friendship between children, there's always this wholesomeness because they haven't experienced the bitterness of the world. And I think that's really what this film is at its core, because then the crux of the film becomes Ponyo can become human if the love between these two is completely pure and there's no misunderstanding from Sasuke's side about what Ponyo is. And there's an entirely other theme of identity underneath the surface as well, where you're looking at Ponyo is a magical goldfish who can turn themselves human, but Sasuke doesn't care about any of that. He loves Ponyo for Ponyo. And I think that that's a really beautiful message for kids to get out of a film as well. And so you have all of those themes underneath the surface. You have some really great vocal performances. I watched the English language version of this film when it was in the theater, and I rewatched the English language version of the film again this time. And I think all the vocal performances are really great. I really like Tina Fey as the mom in this. I think Liam Neeson does a great job. Everyone that shows up in this does really well. Betty White was great in this. And I feel like they add to this world, and they do a really great job at delivering the dialogue for the English language version. I love the animation in Miyazaki's films. It's absolutely incredible. I love like this being a sea town, and like when the water hits and a lot of it's under the water, all of the individual fish and creatures that you see swimming underneath the surface, it just makes the world so immersive in a way that makes you never want to quit watching it. The music in this is really adorable and cute. I think it accompanies the film really well. And like I said, it's not really a high stakes type of movie. It's very much a hang out, enjoy yourself, be along for the ride type of film, similar to My Neighbor Totoro. But I don't think it takes away from just how amazing of an experience it is watching this movie. I loved it a lot, and I'm really excited to watch it again in the future. So have you seen Ponyo? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was amazing. I have loved every one of Miyazaki's films I've watched so far. I thought this one was super fun, really enjoyed myself, and I look forward to watching more in his catalog. As always, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.